Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD, and it's time for another Spanishiwa replay. That's right, I'm going to be pulling more replays from the Spanishiwa replay pack. I guess I'm kind of on a Spanishiwa replay marathon. Just can't get enough of this guy. I think I might need to keep a tally on my nerd hormones or my nerd moans because I think they might be going off a little bit in the overridge land, and I might have to keep a track on that. Starcraft 2 and casters coming out of the closet since 1996. But anyways, this is going to be another Zerg versus Protoss, actually. And it is going to be on Typhoon Peaks, which is a map that I haven't casted on yet. I don't believe so. I'm trying to rack through my memory banks right now, accessing all my my long-term memory and my short-term memory, and I don't think I've ever casted on Typhoon Peaks. So this is definitely an interesting map. Namely, the most interesting feature is these rocks right here, which kind of provide a shortcut, I suppose you could say, over between the two bases. We may or may not see that come into play. His opponent, Spanishiwa's opponent, is going to be CuteZerg, and I don't know exactly why you would name yourself CuteZerg when you're not really a Zerg player. I guess it's kind of like Toss Girl. Why name yourself Toss Girl if you're not a Protoss player? But for Toss Girl, for all you guys who are wondering who's Toss Girl, it's a pro gamer in Korea who plays Terran, and she's a girl, obviously, but I guess for Toss Girl it's okay because she used to play Protoss. I don't know what the deal is with CuteZerg, but regardless, we'll see how this game goes. You know, with all names aside, it's all about the player playing behind the keyboard and how they're going to execute today's battle on Typhoon Peaks. Now, I do have to say, I've been reading some of the comments that you guys left behind in my video where I announced, you know, if you guys tell me what kind of car you guys think I should get for my replacement, blah 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 blah, and some people were saying I should, you know, get a Ferrari. Yeah, I don't know if I can exactly afford that kind of a car, guys. And some people were saying I should get a Honda Civic. Well, kind of a news to you guys, but I actually got my Honda Civic stolen. So I did drive a Honda Civic before. And that was the car that got robbed, so I don't know if I want to get the same car anymore. You know, I was thinking I might get a Toyota Prius. I don't know how cool that is or not, but I kind of like the Prius. Good gas mileage. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think I should get. Either that or I'm going to just hop in a Hellion. Why not? Everyone wants to drive a Hellion. I mean, seriously, if I had a Hellion, how cool would that be? That would give a new name to Road Rage. Whenever I see somebody just driving slow in front of me, I would just activate my flamethrower and burn them up. That would be pretty darn awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to have a Hellion. So next time I ever see a Hellion burning drones up or anything, I'm just gonna call it like the Road Rager. But we'll see what happens this game. Spanishiwa looks like he has now established his hatchery down at his natural after opening up with gas and pool. Pretty standard opening. He gets the Zerglings out and allows you to dispatch of that pesky pylon pretty easily. CuteZerg, meanwhile, has decided to block his ramp with a Zealot, which is always a good decision. You want to plug up your leaks. You don't want to let anything like a Zergling running inside your main, because that can obviously result in devastating fashion to your mineral line, as well as just revealing what kind of tech route you're going with. So CuteZerg now has actually killed the Zergling and is starting to do a little bit of a move out, it seems like, maybe to grab his Nexus. Probe, meanwhile, also gets eliminated at the scouting location of the natural. So both players getting a little bit of scouting information. Spanishiwa now is getting his speed for his Zerglings. I feel like the speed is a little later than usual. I'm not exactly sure why, but he's just now starting the speed upgrade. And it looks like CuteZerg is indeed thinking about going for his natural at his ramp. But before he does that, he needs to get rid of these pesky Zerglings, which Spanishiwa is doing a really good job of just kind of bouncing in, darting in back and forth. He's going to lose this Zergling, but, you know, it's always good to be annoying with these little buggers because they only cost 25 minerals. And besides just being able to scout, they're able to kind of delay and just be a real thorn in the side of your opponent if you're using them correctly. Now, it's a little strange here that Spanishiwa has a Roach Warren. Wow. He actually, you know, he could be going for a Roachling all in here, guys. In fact, looking at the production tab, it certainly looks like it's going to be a Roachling all in here for Spanishiwa. He is building 6 Roaches, 6 Zerglings. He's about to have his speed done. And CuteZerg, meanwhile, He is going to have to get rid of those Zerglings, which he should be able to do pretty easily. CuteZerg is going for a Stargate. The Stargate has just now finished. So this is a really strange build for both these players. CuteZerg going with a 2-gate into Nexus, or 3-gate into Nexus, and then adding on the Stargate. He's going to try to basically take to the skies really fast and do some Void Ray damage. But at the same time, he's going to have to be able to defend against Spanishiwa, who right now is thinking about being pretty darn aggressive. I mean, Roachling all in. If that's not aggression for a Zerg player, I don't know what is. Next to 7 pool or 6 pool, this is pretty much all in for Spanishiwa. And he's running in here now with all his lings and about 4 roaches. Gonna try to get inside the main, but is blocked off by the sentry. Nice hold by CuteZerg, which is gonna allow him to hold off the front door here. Do not even forget that there is a Void Ray in the back. It is now just popped out with a second Void Ray in production. Force Field now has worn off, but the Void Ray has arrived, and that Void Ray should put an end to all this Zergling Roach aggression at CuteZerg's front door. Oh, loses the cybernetics core. Spanishiwa was attacking the cybernetics core the entire time. Oh wow, he kills off the cyber core, and that is a huge blow to CuteZerg, who can no longer make stalkers or sentries. He's now regulated down to only making zealots, and that is not good for this Protoss player. Now Ling's inside the main, and the probes forced to fend for themselves here. 2 Void Rays now up in the air, and I think with 2 Void Rays, that should be the end of this aggression. No! Spanishiwa is still continuing to flood in more Lings, more Roaches. He really wants to do some damage to CuteZerg, and let's just look at the income tab. CuteZerg is up by 4 Harvesters, but he has lost 4 already, and that number could increase. For now, though, Spanishiwa looks like he doesn't want to attack the main anymore. He actually wants to pick off this Nexus, which I do agree with. I mean, you've got all these Lings. You can easily snipe that Nexus down. It is now in the orange. It's in the red. Zerglings maneuvering themselves away from the Zealots, and I think the Nexus is gonna go down. Spanishiwa snipes the Nexus with a brilliantly coordinated aggression build, and now Spanishiwa, I feel like he may be ahead in this game. I mean, he doesn't have that many drones, and even though he doesn't have that many drones, I don't even know if it matters. All he has to do now is just defend against the Void Ray counterattack. And if we look at the main, he's got 1 queen, he's got 2 queens, he's got 2 more queens in production. He's gonna definitely need more queens if he wants to hold this off. One of the queens getting elevated up by the graviton beam, the other queen getting decimated by the Void Rays, and Speedlings once again trying to make a run by into the main. CuteZerg needs to hold the line right here, loses the sentry, so he cannot throw up any force fields and allows about 6 Zerglings to leak inside. Contingency force of Zealots immediately worked in emergency task force to get rid of those Zerglings, but back over on the other side of the map, CuteZerg is doing pretty good for himself. Actually ends up losing a Void Ray there, and with the 2 new queens that have popped out, I think that Spanishiwa should be able to kill off this Void Ray. It's going down to the orange. The Phoenix tries to reduce some of the DPS here and lifts off both queens, resulting in the death of one of the queens, but the last queen finishes off the Void Ray. And I don't think we're gonna see any more Void Ray aggression here, because that was basically all the Void Rays that CuteZerg had. He's now just making a brand new one, but he really doesn't have any on the map whatsoever now, just a Phoenix. And just like that, I think Spanishiwa may be in control of this game. It's certainly very hard to tell. Both these players are being so aggressive, and Spanishiwa is once again trying to kill him. Pylon, go for it. I don't know why why not just get a Pylon, put the Protoss in his place, tell him the story of the Zerg versus the Protoss, and I think Spanishiwa here once again is gonna, wow, really nice play here by putting the Lings on the Stalkers and putting the Roaches on the Zealots, getting the best of his unit compositions to fight against the proper units, but still actually results in him falling back. So CuteZerg able to hold the line, is now rebuilding his Nexus, and is now working down the rocks that connect between the 2 natural expansions, and this is a very close distance by ground. Spanishiwa is going to have to quickly make a lot of Roaches to defend against this. He's making 3 and 4 right now, but Spanishiwa's days could be numbered, ladies and gentlemen. CuteZerg is going to try to end the game right now, or at least do some pretty good damage, because he's trying to get his new Nexus up. And this could be it for Spanishiwa. He needs more roaches. The rocks are about to go down. The rocks are at 20 HP, 0 HP. They fall down in debris. And CuteZerg now encroaching on the Zerg Natural with a lot of Stalkers and Zealots. He's gonna need to focus down the roaches with his Stalkers and then hopefully keep the Void Rays out of range of the Queens and the Spore Crawler. Meanwhile, Spanishiwa is gonna have to try to get a good surround with his roaches and get those Queens on the Void Ray. I think Spanishiwa may have just overpowered the Stalkers, but with more Stalkers to come, CuteZerg here really in a desperate situation. Same with Spanishiwa. Either player could take the game right here, right now. CuteZerg keeping the Void Ray out of range of the Queens, but then miscontrols the Void Ray and ends up losing it. And now Spanishiwa has actually forced the GG out of CuteZerg. That was a really intense back and forth game, and it was almost kind of like watching a tug of war. I mean, like you had the Spaniard on the left, and you had the cute little Zerg on the right, and they were both tugging and pulling and forcing each other back and forth. But eventually, the Conquistador himself was able to take the game away and take it home for victory. So really close game. I like the all-in Roachling aggression. You don't see that very often, but it really puts Protosses in their place when you do it. On the same time, really hold Zerg, a really good hold by CuteZerg, and then almost taking this game away with that last desperation push. But Spanishiwa was able to micro a victory out of that last battle. So great game. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and we're gonna have more replays coming out soon. HD signing out.